Bonjour, everyone. Welcome to my channel, Trying to Learn French. This is your host, Mawad Mansour, or for short, MM. I am a Saudi guy, currently live in London after graduating with a master's degree in financial economics from University of London. But depending on my work, I might leave the UK at any point. Because this channel is about learning a new language, it's important to talk about pronunciation, of course. And here I should mention that my name, Mawad Mansour, is not exactly the way to be pronounced in Arabic, my first language. It should be pronounced as Muad Mansour. So this is the actual pronunciation in Arabic, but I'm trying to make it as close as possible to English language or English pronunciation. Most of us, when learning a new language, will face a new sound or new pronunciation. That's perfectly normal. You don't have to worry about this, especially as a beginner. Even eventually, like because it's your second language or maybe your third language, you don't have to worry about speaking like a native. If you can, that would be ideal, but you don't have to. Just do your best, make it as close as possible. Most important is to worry about listening, like understanding a French speaker. You don't have to speak like French speakers, but most important, you have to worry about listening or understanding French speakers. Maybe not at the beginning because you have to practice on that. Keep in mind that listening is like an input, speaking is like an output. So you worry about the input first, then with time, it takes time and process. Then you worry about the output, which is speaking in French. Definitely not as a beginner, not in the beginner level. Okay, someone might ask, who are you to speak about French or learning French language? That is, what's your current level in French? The answer is almost zero, probably like most of you. That is, I'm a beginner now, a very beginner, an absolute beginner. Although I took a course or two in the past, they proved to be useless. Let me explain. The first course I took was in person here in London, like face to face. We used to go once a week for about 2 hours. But the problem is actually more than one problem. The first problem is I think or I feel I'm not the only one, but more than one person I remember. We felt like it was not an actually designed for absolute beginners. Yes, the textbook start from the beginning. Yes, it started with the alphabet, but it's still how can I say that? It's 100% pure French. There was no single word in English, which is not an ideal one to start with as a beginner. If you want to start from the beginning, from my experience at least, you want to start with some words from your original language or one language at least you understand. Then, so it will be a bilingual textbook. So a mix between a language you understand and a language you want to learn. That will be, from my experience, that will be the ideal one to start with. This one, however, it was 100% French, pure French. So it wasn't the best book for self-learning, like doing homework or studying at home. Yes, the lecture will help. The teacher was nice and she was helpful. But facing meeting up face to face 2 hours a week will never be enough in this case. So I don't recommend that textbook. I might share it with you at some point in the future, but I would say it's useless for me at this point and to most of you. I will keep it probably for the future and focus on other textbooks. But that's my story with the first course I took here in London face to face. The second course was online. It was a very short one, like a 2 hours course online. It was nice. I've learned a couple of words and expressions, but still not enough, definitely. So from my experience, the best way to learn language as a beginner is to start with a bilingual textbook. So you don't have to pull the translator and translate every single word you don't understand. That will be at some point in the future. Maybe you can guess the meaning from the context. But as a beginner, you have to start with something you know. So a bilingual textbook will be much better than a pure French textbook like this one. So I can say, long story short, I did not learn a lot from the previous courses I took in French. That is, I'm starting as a beginner now and I'm starting from scratch. Okay, next, why French? Why should we learn French language? French language is the second most widespread language across the continent, of course, after English. And be careful here with comparisons, or when you Google, for example, top 10 or top 5 or even top 3 languages, most of the statistics will show up. There will probably be about the number of people, the number of people who use the language or speak the language. In this case, you'll probably find number 2, the Chinese, the Mandarin Chinese. The reason is because there is a big population of the Chinese, probably also some of the Indian languages. The problem here is the number of speakers will be probably concentrated in one place or two. That's the problem. So compared to French, which, as I mentioned, the second most widespread language across the continents, so it will be more useful in more places to learn French compared to other languages that probably most concentrated in one place or two. So this will help. This will help you in travel, of course, after learning English, because English is, or in case English doesn't work or no one speaks English in that country. Number 2 will be French for you. Also, French is an official UN language, United Nations language. French is an official language in 29 countries. That's the official. Also, French might be useful in business. For example, if you work in international business, if you have any trade, any international kind of business, or any sector like tourism or hospitality, this will be helpful for you. French will be definitely helpful for you. Last but not least, simply the interest of learning a language, learning French as a language and as a culture as well, because along with the language you will learn the culture of those people who speak that language. And personally, I find the French culture is very interesting to learn about, and the best way to learn about it is, of course, through the French language. Someone might ask, if Arabic is your first language, why did you decide to learn French through English instead of through Arabic? Wouldn't that be easier for you? My answer is probably it will be easier to learn to learn French from Arabic or through Arabic. However, I have 2 big reasons for that, to choosing English as a mean to learn French. Number 1, I don't want anyone to learn French before they learn English. English is much more important, and if you know English, you are more luckier than if you know French, because English is the most important, the most useful in education, in general, like knowledge, in travel, in science, in everything. Almost you can find almost everything in English. If you have English, you really don't need any other language to learn. So I don't want anyone to learn French through Arabic directly while skipping English. That's very important. That's the first reason. The second reason is, I would say, from my experience, the textbooks and the sources in English have better quality than those in Arabic. So the textbooks, any other source, like education source, to learn French through Arabic, probably not ideal and not the best quality. And also the quantity, you will not find many sources to learn French from Arabic or through Arabic. So English will be much better, much easier. And also there are similarities between the 2 languages. So this will be, I would say, this will be might be like a hidden benefit. Maybe we'll talk about in a minute. But to switch or to translate from French to English or vice versa, you will see some similarities. But Arabic is a completely different language. So it's better to learn French through English compared to French through Arabic. And to that point, I have good news for you. Number 1, the number of letters or characters is the same in both languages, 26 letters. They are almost the same, apart from the diacritical marks, like the one you see at the word cafe, at the E at the end, cafe. But you don't have to worry about these because they are not very common. And as a beginner, you don't worry about this. And there are only a few of them. You can learn them later, or you can learn them slowly as they show up in the learning process. Second point is French has 100,000 words, English has 200,000 words. So if you learned English like it wasn't your first language, you will need almost half the effort when it comes to learning the vocabulary compared to English. The third point is whether your English is your native language or you learned English later, like in my case, 1/3 of the vocabulary is shared between French and English. There might be some differences like in pronunciation and maybe spelling, but generally 1/3, at least maybe 1/3, the vocabulary are shared between the two languages. So you need to worry about the grammar and the other 2/3, of course. Lastly, according to the textbook I shared with you called French from Wikibooks, French can be learned in about 10 months. Of course, this is not accurate for everyone because people are different, but let's say it's a good news. You can learn French as an English speaker. You can learn French in less than 1 year. That's a very good news. So just to put it there for you, that that French shouldn't be that difficult to learn. Last point for today, how does this channel work? For myself, and hopefully everyone on board will learn with me as we go with this channel. The answer is honestly, I have no idea. I have no specific plan to learn French. But as I mentioned before, I have the sources like the textbooks, the dictionaries, and everything else. So we will learn as we go, and I will use all the sources I have to learn myself and share what I have learned, and hopefully we will grow together as this channel grow. And that's it for today. We started with the word bonjour, so we should end with another French word, means see you later or see you soon. That is à bientôt.